Let's make a delicious fire roasted salsa on the molcajete. There's nothing wrong with boiling your ingredients and blending them for a quick salsa. But if you have the time and you want to level up your salsa, then be sure to roast your peppers and use your molcajete. Let me show you. Let's slide 3/4 chimney. Now there's some leftover charcoal from a past cook that I mixed in here. Once lit, let's dump into our S&S kettle and spread it out. I normally use whatever coals are left after a long cook and take the opportunity to roast my ingredients before shutting the kettle down. But today, I didn't cook anything, so I lit the charcoal specifically for roasting our ingredients. For our salsa, we're going to need some habaneros, ripe tomatoes, serrano peppers, garlic, and onion. Now, I'm not using all of this for a salsa, but once the grill is hot, I might as well roast a little bit more so that I can use it a little bit later. And if you saw my last video, you'll know I used some of these habaneros for some extra spicy jalapeno peppers. Be sure to check out that video. It won't take very long to get some nice char on the peppers. Be sure to turn them over to get a nice char on both sides. Now our peppers are the first ones to be done, and the onion and tomatoes will usually take a little bit longer. What is the appropriate tomato to pepper ratio you should use? For this salsa, I'm using 2 serranos, 2 habaneros, and 5 Roma tomatoes. This is perfect for a house salsa, but it might be too spicy for dipping chips in. A ratio of 1 Roma tomato per hot pepper is going to make for a very spicy salsa, or as I like to call it, a fun salsa. For a less spicier salsa or a dipping salsa, use 2 or 3 Roma tomatoes per hot pepper. I would also suggest swapping out the serrano peppers with jalapenos. The jalapenos are a lot less spicy. Pro tip, don't add all of your hot peppers in at once. Drop one at a time. Taste and add more if necessary. It's essential to find a ratio you and your family enjoys so you can recreate the spicy level each and every time. Remove once the tomatoes are soft and cooked. Don't let the char scare you. You can remove the charred skin. Underneath that char are perfectly cooked tomatoes and peppers with some infused smoky flavor. It's excellent. At this stage, you can certainly blend all your ingredients, but I like using a molcajete. The results are a much chunkier, rustic type of salsa, which remind me of home. And the use of a molcajete really makes me think of my family. But more on that later. I'm going to start by grinding the garlic and roasted peppers to create a paste to prevent us biting into a large chunk of garlic and pepper, because nobody needs that. Let's peel the garlic, throw it in there, and let's put some salt in there. Maybe a teaspoon of salt, another teaspoon of peppers, and some fresh, well, not fresh, but some Mexican oregano. Can give it a good mash. Next, we'll want to add our pepper. Now you could remove charred skin if you want. I'm going to remove some of it, but not all. Just whatever peels off right away. And then we'll give it a nice little mash. Want to create a nice paste. And that is our base. Now for a roasted onion, I'm going to give it a chop. Here are our onions. And then we want to give these onions a nice little grind to incorporate our peppers. Okay, the next step is to add the tomatoes. I am going to go ahead and remove the skin. You could leave it on if that's what you prefer, but I like taking it off. Now, why did this molcajete remind me of my family? Let me explain where I got it. When my aunt passed away, my mom went to Mexico City for the funeral, and my cousin, the son of my aunt, gifted this to my mother as a kind of a thank you for all the support during the funeral. But when she came back in the States, she didn't really use it. She had her own molcajete that she used and she loved. So she told me if I wanted it. Of course I said yes. Now, if you ever own a molcajete, you know that these things last forever. But that is a little bit of history of this molcajete. Now you know who gifted it to me. Now you know that there is special significance in this. Every time I use it, kid you not, I automatically think of my family, which is pretty awesome, I think. But right now, let's give this a taste. Now I like using tortilla instead of tortilla chips, because tortilla chips are really salty, and you don't get to taste it for salt. So I like doing a little piece of tortilla like this. It needs just a little bit of salt. So I'm gonna drop some in. Give it a good mix. Now, obviously, if you're using the salsa for dipping salty chips with it, then you don't need to add as much salt. But I want to enjoy this with some food, some tacos, some burritos. So I want to make sure that the salt content is a little bit higher than if I were to make a salsa for, for chips. Do that again. It's perfect. Don't be afraid of the habanero pepper. Incorporate it into your salsa. I'm telling you, with the right amount, it's going to add some delicious, delicious flavor. Of course, if you're more sensitive to heat, I would only go with 1 habanero and 1 serrano with those 5 Roma tomatoes. And I think it'll have enough heat where it's absolutely perfect for dipping chips with, but not super spicy where it's just not going to be edible. Plus, you'll get that flavor, that habanero flavor. I cannot recommend it enough. Incorporate the habanero into your salsa, and you are going to absolutely love it. This salsa, it's going to lend itself to add in fresh ingredients. Put a little chopped cilantro in there. Put a little chopped green onion in there. Put a little fresh squeeze of lime. Now, I hope you enjoyed this fire roasted salsa. It's absolutely perfect. It's delicious. It's very, very flavorful thanks to those habaneros. Now, if you want more standalone salsa recipes, leave me a comment down below and let me know that you want more salsa. Do a hashtag more salsa. But in the meantime, be sure to check out my playlist here. Now, a lot of them are cooks where I also make a salsa along with it. So they're not standalone, but there are a few standalone recipes there that you should check out. And in the meantime, please leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna eat more of this salsa. It's so flavorful. That roasted garlic, it really comes through. Like everything was just perfect on this. Do it, make it.